Good afternoon. I'm here to interview the star of the book Call the Wild by Jack London. And the star is Buck, and we caught up to Buck in his home in KL, Malaysia. And thanks for meeting with us today, Buck. We have a few questions for you, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. Pleasure to be here. I wasn't doing anything anyways, sitting around the house.
Okay, great. Well, first of all, in the story of Call the Wild, you don't actually start out in Alaska. You start out in a different part of North America. Can you tell us a little bit about your first home?
Yeah, it was in California on John Miller's farm. Yeah, and it was very nice there. It was hot, sunny every day, plenty of space. I could lie around. I got 3 meals a day. It was perfect. I loved it there. Yeah.
Oh, great. And then what happened from there? How did you wind up in Alaska?
Well, there was this farmer that he had a bit of a gambling problem, and he he had enough money to pay his gambling problem, and he needed to sell me. And so I was sold to a man in a red coat who brought me to Alaska as a male's dog. Yeah.
I see. And tell me a little bit about life in Alaska once you stop scratching your leg, and what it was like to be to be part of a dog team.
I enjoyed it. Like, I loved pulling sleds. I loved running around. It was perfect, but it was very hard. I didn't know how to keep warm, how to even run on snow. It was very, very hard. Like, I didn't know anything really, so I had to learn from scratch.
I see. And did you find that you were accepted immediately into the pack, or did you have to work pretty hard to gain the other dog's respect?
Oh, well, I was not accepted at all. No, not at all. Because I was a bit plump when I first got there, so I wasn't doing too well. Yeah, So I wasn't doing too well. I need another bite to eat. I haven't eaten lunch this morning. So I wasn't doing too well. No, so I did have to earn their respects by fighting them sometimes. I had to even fight Spitz, and he was such a mean dog that he ended up getting killed. Yes.
Did you actually kill him in a fight?
More or less. He was running along, and there was a creek nearby, and we're in Alaska, so it's very cold, and we were fighting, and he might have fell into the creek by me pushing him and died.
Ah. And you were very close to John Thornton, who is the sled dog leader. Tell me a little bit about how he died and what that meant to you.
Well, he was my ultimate master. He was very kind, and even though he called me names and stuff, he taught me and trained me how to live life. And when he died, I was very heartbroken. But before that, I met a wolf friend and he was calling me to the wild. And so I was leaving for a couple days at a time, and I wasn't meeting John Thornton that much. I was a huge dog. I fought off a bear. I fought off even a full moose. I didn't meet John Thornton, but I was still very, very sad to see his death.
And just tell us briefly, Buck, how did the story end in Call of the Wild, and tell us about the ending and the closing chapter.
Well, I lived with the wolf clan, and I became the chief wolf, even though I was a dog.
Wow. Oh, that's something really pretty spectacular. Quite a story. Well, I'd like to thank you for the interview and just shake your hand if I could. Shake hands, Buck. There we go. Yeah, thank you. And I'll let you get back to your restful Sunday afternoon. Thanks very much for the interview.
I'm spinning like a star, you can't stop my shine. I'm floating cloud nine, my head's in the sky. I'm solo, I'm riding solo. I'm riding solo. I'm riding solo, solo. Yeah, I'm feeling good tonight. Finally doing me and it feels so right. Oh.